Hello, and welcome to Speaking of College of Charleston. I'm Ron Menchaca, Vice President of Marketing and Communications at the College of Charleston, and on today's episode, I speak with President Andrew Hsu. As the college winds down another exciting and productive academic year, President Hsu looks back on his first 5 years in office and highlights the numerous initiatives and achievements of our faculty, staff, and students. This is our third year sitting down with President Hsu at the end of the academic year. As we look ahead to spring commencement and celebrating the class of 2024, we reflect on all of the incredible things happening at our university. Without further ado, here's our talk with President Andrew Hsu. Well, welcome, President Hsu. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me again.
This is our third annual podcast interview with you to do a kind of an end of the academic year wrap up. So thanks again for making time for us. So President Hsu, May 2024 marks your 5th anniversary as president of the College of Charleston. Are you pleased with where we are at thus far and where we are headed as a university?
Ron, absolutely. I'm so proud of what we have achieved together as a campus. The last 5 years really represent incredible collaborations among faculty, staff, students, alumni, administration, board of trustees, donors, and community partners to make this institution stronger, both academically and financially. The institution really is becoming more relevant and more responsive to growing student demand and workforce needs. I'm so pleased on the progress that we're making toward our strategic vision, which is to achieve a national university status. If you remember, 5 years ago, we developed our 10-year strategic plan at which I think the majority of the campus wanted us to move towards a national university status, which means that we have to be able to offer 30 doctoral degrees per year. And of course, it's a multi-step process. We first had to go to the state and worked with the General Assembly to create a new category of higher education in the state of South Carolina. And we then have the Higher Education Commission reclassified the College of Charleston as a DPU, or a professional doctorate university at the state level. And our next steps are to bolster our graduate degree offerings in order to be able to qualify in the currently classification as a doctoral granting university. The first step we took was back in 2023. We had our first PhD program in mathematics with computing approved by the state, and we had enrolled our first student. Now we're working with the campus and with the academic programs to create 2 new doctoral programs. One is doctorate in business administration, and the other is a doctorate in education. So we're making very good progress.
So 30 doctoral degrees, that's the magic number.
That's the goal.
All right. Okay. So as we're recording this episode, President Hsu, we're winding down another productive and successful academic year, and we're looking ahead to spring commencement. Can you share a few highlights and achievements from this past year?
Sure. This is, like I said, a tremendous year for us. We're making good progress both inside and outside of the classroom, and so many achievements that we have achieved individually and collectively. For example, we have a record year for applications. We went from having 12,000 applicants back in 2019, 5 years ago, to now close to 32,000 applications. We're making good progress in philanthropy. A record number of donors who engaged in a 1 day of giving, our CofC day. That increase in alumni donors help us to create a more robust culture of philanthropy on and beyond our campus. And I'm also proud to say that we're going to be celebrating 3 seven-figure donations to the university in the near future. Of course, our basketball team is proud of this campus. We went to the NCAA March Madness twice in a row, and then we were able to attract a national level talent in Chris Mack as our next coach. I'm really looking forward to seeing how Coach Mack can elevate us among the mid-majors and make us an even better program in basketball. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that our Lady Cougars, our women's basketball team, went all the way to the WNIT tournament under Coach Robin Harmony. We created 3 new academic schools during the last year, and that is a School of Health Sciences, a School of Natural and Environmental Sciences, and School of Engineering, Computing, and Mathematics. I think those schools will really help us expand the scope of our academic offerings. And of course, I could just go on and on. There's a very long list of what we have done. We have implemented new academic programs, degrees. We have put up historic interpretive signages in order to tell a more complete story of our campus. We're making available micro-credentials through Coursera to help our students, alumni, and faculty for real-world training. We held another successful Charleston Expo where our students were able to showcase their amazing research and scholarship. And we launched a new and refreshed institutional website. And in fact, we're moving towards from CofC.edu towards Charleston.edu, which no doubt will help with our outreach of potential students. I'm also proud to say that this year we reached the 30-student milestone of our 1967 Legacy Scholars, which is a scholarship that support our minority students.
That's great. Been an amazing academic year, and greater things to come. So, kind of switching gears here, switching topics on you for a second here, President Hsu. There's been a lot of media attention the last couple of years about the value of a college education, particularly a liberal arts education. I know this topic is very close to your heart. Can you share your thoughts on this?
You know, I know I have talked a lot already about how our institution is trying to respond to student demand and workforce development needs through our applied science and professional programs. But I think it's important to mention that those degree programs are essential to our current and future success. However, what remains essential to our university is our long liberal arts tradition and as well as the liberal arts core that we teach all of our students. The liberal arts tradition really shape our identity, both our university and our students. Today's economy needs more liberal arts trained graduates rather than less in order to deal with the fast changing nature of the marketplace and our society. The liberal arts programs or our liberal arts training sharpens the critical thinking skills of our student, and it makes our student more adaptable and flexible, especially as technology makes us reimagine our jobs and careers as we're doing now. What is going to set up our programs apart really is that they will come out of and with stronger communications skills and more finely tuned soft skills like cultural literacy, teamwork, global fluency, than graduates of other more traditional programs. The liberal arts is and always will be a differentiator or X factor at the College of Charleston.
Wonderful. So another topic that's getting a lot of attention, both inside and outside higher education, is the so-called demographic cliff or enrollment cliff. For our listeners who are unfamiliar with this topic, can you explain what it is and how the college is preparing for it?
Sure. The so-called demographic cliff refers to the fact that there were simply less babies born in 2008 and thereafter. And we are about to see a decline in the traditional college age going student population. So there is less supply coming through the pipeline and perhaps more competition for students that will come in the future as this student population decline. How it will impact different regions of our country, of course, it's not going to be uniform. In certain regions, for example, the Northeast and Midwest is already feeling that effect, and in the Midwest for several years already. Some colleges and universities, especially in the Midwest and Northeast, are seeing already declining enrollments, and some colleges have already closed some of the smaller private colleges. In the South, of course, demographic decline will not be as sharp. In fact, in some states, we're actually going to see an increase in student population for a small number of years. And we're also seeing more students in other regions wanting to come to the South, especially South Carolina, in order to escape the winter weather. I'm hopeful that what we as an institution have done over the past 5 years to strengthen our reputation, our academic quality, will make it more desirable, relevant to prospective students and their families, and will somehow, to some extent, insulate us from the negative effects of the demographic cliff.
So wrapping up here, President Hsu, just a couple more questions. Simple question. How can people keep up with you on social media and get in contact with you?
Sure. So social media is easy. If you go onto Instagram or Twitter, which is, I guess, now known as X, you can search CofC Hsu, and you will be able to find me. And you can easily reach me through email. It's very easy to remember. It's president@cofc.edu. Or even better, you can type in president@charleston.edu.
That has a nice ring to it. I like that. So last question, President Hsu. What's one moment from this past academic year that stands out to you, and why?
I was so excited when I first heard that our first 1967 legacy scholar is going to graduate this May. Amber Anderson, who was a 1967 scholar from our first cohort, is actually graduating this May after only 3 years. What an achievement. 4 years ago, this was just an idea in the mind of Professor Valerie Frazier. And now we have some of our best minority students graduating. So that's probably the most memorable moment for me for this past year.
That's great. Well, thank you very much for joining us today, President Hsu.
Thank you, Ron. Good to be with you all.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Speaking of College of Charleston with today's special guest, President Andrew Hsu. For more episodes and read stories about our guests, visit the College of Charleston's official news site, The College Today, at today.charleston.edu. You can also find this and past episodes on all major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and leave a review. This episode was produced by Amy Stockwell and Ron Menchaca from the Office of Marketing and Communications, with recording and sound engineering by Jesse Kunz and Lance Laidlaw from the Division of Information Technology. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.